because I think super interesting your perspective, how you think about life. Let's go super meta philosophical. For you, what's all this rooted in? Is it like, is there a spirituality to it? Is it ultimately rooted in God or religion in some way? Is it just a personal thing for you? Is it just knowledge, wisdom, logic? Like what's at the base of all of it for you?
Um, I mean, I don't think it's one. It's obviously God first and foremost. It's God for me. There's a higher power. If you don't believe in a higher power, it's okay with that. My grandfather's an atheist. Have conversations with him all the time. Have a great relationship with my grandfather. He can be atheist and not believe in anything, but if you don't have anything that's bigger than you, then you're gonna kind of always come back to kind of a self perspective that might not always be the best.
Mm,
You know what I mean? If you're looking at yourself as a human, is the reason why things are happening. You might fall short of the happiness that you're looking
mm,
for. But
mm,
if there's something bigger to what you're going through in life, then you have a hope.
mm.
You have, you know what I mean, something more for you than what you're creating. You know what I mean? So yeah, so for me, God is foremost the foundation for everything for me. And then yeah, wisdom. I love learning. I love being informed, or you know what I mean, not necessarily being in a heated debate, but learning other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and learning how to respect different people's perspectives and religions and understandings in life. And I don't think all those things individually should separate us as people. You know what I mean? Like I said, I had a great relationship with somebody that's an atheist. You know what I mean? And I know plenty of people that don't believe in God, but I have great relationships because they're great people.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it doesn't change. You know what I mean? They still believe in respecting who they're dealing with. They still believe in, you know what I mean, respecting other people's lives. You know what I mean? Maybe they won't say it, but there is a higher power for them.
Right. I
You know
was
what I
gonna
mean?
say
They can
that. Yeah.
respect the spirit in somebody else. You know,
There's
so
something bigger than them that drives them to, yeah, it's weird. I think I'm somebody who for most of my life was, I don't know, I guess maybe an atheist. I was probably too afraid to say I was an atheist just in case God was real. As stupid as that is, like I didn't want to say it,
no,
it's
that's what
but it's
being a human is. You
yeah,
question it,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's
and you
exactly right.
question things.
And I started to realize like God, I'll say it this way, and I say this with all due respect, God gets a bad rap often by people because of what religions become and all those things. And it's like there is such a deep, and I say this with love and complete respect, like there's such a deep functionality in having that higher power and that belief in God. Because everything you've been talking about in this conversation, the ability to step back and look at things and question and consider different perspectives, and if you don't have that higher power that almost forces you to do that because it humbles you. It makes you believe I don't know
Hmm.
everything and there's something bigger to me in this. It's really hard to do that on your own, to like self-create that momentum and propulsion to do it. And God serves such a purpose in that. And I think because of like us as society, what we've done and bastardized religion in a lot of ways, like people have gotten turned off by God and have lost sight of what God actually does for us and a lot of the things you're saying. And I think it does a huge disservice because we tie so much more to what God is and what it means and like church services and different rituals and
Right.
things we need to do.
Well,
We've lost the
well
essence.
people out. Well, with religion, it's like it's all one God. If you break down any religion, the basis of what you do is it's a similar thing. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. It's a similar thing.
Very
That
close though.
tells
Yeah.
you that it's all leading
Yeah.
to one God.
Yeah.
And even if you don't believe in the Bible because a man wrote it,
Yeah.
just listen to the stories that are told. And it's not a word for word thing, and it's not a literal thing. It's these are all metaphors. Like you have to
Mhm.
think beyond what's on the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to think beyond, you know what I mean, what is just surface level.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at it as just a surface level thing, and you're like, yeah, this man would die and resurrect, maybe it wasn't exactly that, but you could believe in people seeing a man maybe being this figure that's unbelievable in life. And there's so many people taking account of this story that this is the story that they wrote that is
Yeah.
close as they can get to
Yeah.
something that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is the closest that they can get to document it. And people could mess with the story, but you can mess with it so much that it can still be intact. You know what I mean? So there's truth to a lot. There's deception in a lot. And it's just like, okay, well, what do you take it as?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk to people. What do you take it as? If you don't believe in God, that's cool. But I can guarantee you there's been a situation in everyone's life where they're like, I didn't die.
Mhm.
So who are you thinking for not dying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whether it's a car accident, you know what I mean? Almost getting there's countless of things that people are like, all right, I almost drank myself to death,
Yeah.
but I got another opportunity to do better.
Why? Yeah. Yeah. Or there's
Yeah,
something
why
you
you
can't
get that
explain in
opportunity?
life. There's something that you just don't it can't
Yeah.
explain. Words can't explain it. Logic, science can't explain it. There's something behind that. Call it what you want. God, the universe, a life force, energy, whatever you want to call it. There's
Oh
something there.
man, and I love the conversation about God and science. It's like, where do you think the science comes from? He's literally letting us figure it out. He's
And that's
like,
the
all
thing,
right,
like, it's not in conflict. It I don't know. I don't know if God's
right,
real, what God is, but the view that, like, science and God can't go together, like, that I never understood
right.
exactly as you're explaining it. Even if God did like, science is just explaining what and then I say this often, but,
What the
like,
design is.
what the design is.
Science
Yes.
explaining what the design is.
Yes. And the fact that science has gotten us to the place where we all kind of accept from a scientific perspective that the Big Bang happened. Like, if that's not a
Yeah,
miracle, if that's not something that's beyond any explanation, but science accepts it and we're like, "Oh, that makes sense." But the story in the Bible, like, no
right.
way, that can't be true. That's a little bit like we're picking and choosing there in a very irrational way, it would seem to me.